Okay, g'day everyone. So yeah, one of the jobs I've got to get done obviously is I've got to take the two yokes out. I'm going to start with the co-pilot side first. Obviously, just if I get into any trouble, then I haven't stuffed up the main pilot side. So I'll take this out and build a new one. Put that in together with the relative buttons, push to talk, and so on, and get that configured on the co-pilot side. If that all works, then it'll work for the pilot side. So that's the next job. Take this out. I'll leave the hub in there. So you might see that I record a flight or two and there isn't a co-pilot yoke, and the reason is because I'm working on the new one. Okay, let's get that bit done.
Okay, I've got the one of the. It's full of bloody grease. I've got one of the yokes out. This is the co-pilot side. Obviously, I've got some cabling coming through, which is obviously attached to the push button. But I think, as I've mentioned before, all I did is I literally pulled apart one of those Satec, or now Logitech Pro Flights, and I just retained the handle and replaced, effectively got rid of everything else, all the back end of it, and just retained that aluminium shaft. So now I'm going to pull this one apart now, only just to get the shaft out and compare that to the length of what I need on the new ones, and cut it down to size. And then once all that's done, I'm going to be doing the wiring on the co-pilot side, and we'll get that to work first, test all of that before we move to the pilot side. So anyway, here we go. ProFlight is out, and as you can see as well, I don't know if you can pick it up or not, but it's just, I think as I was mentioning before, it's really flimsy, you know what I mean? So it's not sitting on that shaft very well at all, and the plastic actually is a bit flimsier than what I've just built now, where I've made it almost solid. So, you know, you can see that's got a lot of flex in it, and it's just getting annoying, so I've got to get rid of that, and hopefully this new one's going to do exactly that. So looking forward to getting the new ones done. Okay, let's get some other stuff done.
Well, g'day everyone. Here we are in Fusion 360, and as you can see, this is the model that I've used to create the 172 yokes. I haven't got credit for this particular one. I'll put a link below to where I got this from. I got it from CG Trader, a platform where you can download models and so on. And as you can see, this is a really well, certainly in my view, was one of the best ones that I found. I paid the full STL price so that I could modify this. You can just download, I did buy the STL, but you can also download, for more expensive, but you can download the actual native model as well that you can modify, which is what I wanted to do because I did need to make some modifications to it. I'll take you through the design of this thing, but also what those modifications were. So firstly, this yoke is actually, it's a bolted yoke in 4 parts, and I'll just take you through what they are. So what you've got is a left back, as you can see here, and so you've got that side there, and as you can see, you've got 2 holes through here and here where you would offer up the other side. So if I do the other side, you can see how that marries up, and you bolt through here and through here, and then that's the back side of your yoke. So when you see me in the workshop, when I'll show you that next, is you'll see how we've offered this part up together, bolted these 2 halves together, and then offered it through there. The other key feature that I really like about this is obviously you've got the cutouts here for switches, push to talk switches, both at the back, and also some spares up the top if you want to do that. I don't think I'll be doing anything up the top here on the back, but I'll certainly have push to talk on both. Well, I'll have certainly on the left side. I may just set up another one as a ready switch for the other side for something else if I need to do that. I really like the idea of what they've done as well, of creating the channel through here, which you can run the cabling in, and then up through the shaft, which is great. So that's really good, and really happy with that. What I did need to do though is I needed to make a modification to when I got this, it by default it comes with a 20mm shaft hub. I needed 25, and so that's why I needed the full model to start with, and one that I can edit, because I needed to make this a 25mm shaft, not 20, so I did that. But I also wanted to move this hub further down relative to the yoke handle, and the reason for that was because when I looked at this and had a bit of a look at this on my simulator model, the yoke, it was just a bit too low by about 30mm, so I wanted to pick it up a bit, and so to do that I needed to recreate this hub section. So I just literally deleted the existing one, kept all this obviously as it was, and rebuilt this new hub section lower, and made it a 25mm shaft in there. I also, for the sake of rigidity, I also just this distance here, I made that a bit longer as well than what it was previously. So, but not too much. It's generally the same. So that's what I did there. On the front side of it, I can just show you the front ones now. And on the front, if I just bring the front ones up, and I'll turn the back ones off, because as you can see, what happens there, you've got these are for toggle switches, the spring-centered toggle switches either side. You can get them at your local, well, we have like a J-Car store or some sort of electronics store where you can grab those. And I'll probably use this one for trim. This one, could be rudder trim, that can be your aileron trim, but I'll have a look at those at a point. If I turn this around, I'll show you what has happened at the back as well. So when you get this, you can see how you've got all these bolt holes here where you just put your screws through, and then that'll obviously self-tapping screws into the back, and that's how these two halves will clamp together, which is typical of many yokes, and I'll show you that when we do it in the workshop. But when I just want to take these back bits off, you can see what the model didn't come with. There's two things here that I've modified that I can see would be a problem. One is this didn't come with any channel on this side. So again, it's a bit cruder, but I think it's going to be sufficient. I've just done a small channel through here to run my cabling through, and that obviously mirrors certainly in the exact same location as the channel on the other side, so that they don't interfere with each other and you get a nice sandwich between the two. So that's what I've done there. I just created some channel to put the cable in, and it's only going to be there'll be 3 cables coming off of that, and I'll chase those down through there, and that'll keep that nice and neat so that they can offer up into the shaft. And the other thing was that these cutouts here for these bolts, these are actually smaller. They're about half the size, and I just don't think you'll get either a screwdriver in or even your fingers to be able to work in there. So I've just extended this out and made this wider here on both, because I feel as if that would have been a bit too tight. It was half the size, if you can sort of visualize that. So I've not so much that way, but certainly that way. So I've just increased that through there. But yeah, so that's it. I'm in the process of printing. I'll show you it printing, and then we'll go to the workshop and show you how I can start to pull this thing together. All right, let's get into the workshop and have a look.